There you go. Music is, of course, an integral part of our culture, always has been. We've been producing music and musical instruments for thousands of years. Simon O'Dwyer is the author of Ancient Music of Ireland and Britain. Simon, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Sean. That was a reproduction of an Iron Age trumpa from County Down.
Right.
The original one's in the National Museum in Dublin, and it's about 200 years before Christ in age. It's over 2,000 years old.
Right. And what kind of things would it have been used for?
Well, we're lucky because we have some references to them in our early legends, which tell us that they were used for war, they were used for healing, they were used for parade, for royal fanfare, and we now know from travelling to Nepal and looking at similar instruments there that they may have also been used for weddings.
Right, okay. Now, so could one say that that's an indigenous Irish instrument then, or perhaps was it imported?
We're pretty sure it's indigenous to Ireland.
Right.
And Wales, because there's one occurring in Wales. And it's evolved from the earlier Bronze Age horns, which were cast bronze in the late Bronze Age. It's like a continuation through from that time, well, basically from cow horns through to bronze horns in the Bronze Age, and then through to the Great Iron Age trumpas. And they are specific to Ireland and Britain, as opposed to the rest of Europe.
Right, okay. And just to describe that to people, it's God knows how long it is. It's about 6 foot long.
It's more. It's about 8 feet long.
Right. Okay.
2.5 meters roughly.
Yeah, and it has to be held up on a kind of a brace on a stick because one person couldn't really hold it up by themselves.
You couldn't, and we know from the wear that's on the original one, which is complete, that that was probably how it was. It was held by two people, one in front carrying it, and the other behind playing, so that it could be paraded.
And presumably that kind of an instrument would have belonged to somebody who was wealthy or had a title of some sort.
Well, even today, to make an instrument like that is extremely expensive. And at their time, the technology that they achieved was just really unbelievable. We still haven't matched it. That one that I have now is not made the same way as the original. It's welded, where the original was riveted, and we still don't understand how they were able to design the internal bore of the instrument to get all those nice in-tune notes.
That's extraordinary. Would that then have morphed into something else that would be more recognisable to us today?
That would be predecessor to all the wind instruments today, trumpets, trombones, tubas, instruments like that. And the ones today are far more complex because they have valves and they have modern technology, and they're designed to play the 12-note scale in modern music. But these ones operated under a different sort of a law of music.
Now, that, as you say, is a replica of something that's at least 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
How far back, though, can we go in terms of tracing musical instruments on this island?
In Ireland, the oldest instrument we have is a set of harmonic flutes from just outside Bray, and they were found in 2003, and they're made of yew wood. 6 of them were found in a fulloch fia, which is like a trench in the ground.
Yeah.
They may have been used for cooking or may have been used for beer.
Yeah, and how old would they have been?
They are 4,200 years old.
Wow.
But that's still, that's quite young relative to Europe. In Europe, they have bone flutes going back 40,000 years. In Germany, they'd be the oldest instruments. So we can look to that and say that there would have been cow horns before these bronze instruments. There would have been whistles, there would have been flutes. They found a stringed instrument in Scotland recently called the Skye Bridge, which is a part of a stringed instrument, which is the oldest stringed instrument in Europe.
And what would they be generally have been made out of?
The older ones, natural things like wood and bone, and you can pick up stones off the beach, in Killiney Beach particularly, with holes in them, which are made by little shellfish, and you can play those.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So nature just provided them ready-made.
It did actually, yeah, quite a lot of stuff, yeah.
And things that would be recognisable to us now, like barons and uilleann pipes, what would be the predecessors of those?
Well, it depends how far back you want to go. The bodhrán is an interesting one because it's a simple frame drum, and what makes it different in Ireland is the way it's played, with the sideways swinging action. But frame drums are common around the world, and I actually put in the book, I put in that the bodhrán may either be like 18th or 19th century introduction from Spain, or it may equally go back into the Irish Stone Age.
Right. Why is it difficult to tell? Is it just simply because there's not a lot of records surrounding this kind of stuff?
Well, we don't have any ancient bodhráns surviving, or bits of them, or references to them. The oldest that I have is my father's first cousin's bodhrán and stick, which were made in 1935. And as far as I know, that's the oldest bodhrán stick in existence. And then he was taught by an old man how to do a particular triplet on a march. And the old man, so that would have brought it back into the 19th century.
Yeah.
Further than back, we can't really go back further than that from an evidence point of view.
All right.
But if you look at the music, Irish traditional music has that distinctive style and swing and flow. And we think that that is partly because of the bodhrán, the way it's played, gives it that angle.
So we don't know, but and why is there a possibility it may have come from Spain?
Because they play very similar drums down in Spain. And of course we know that the earliest people in Ireland probably came from northern Spain.
Yeah.
That's what the DNA tells us.
Well, indeed, but that's going back 10,000 years odd. Yeah.
Oh, well, it all goes back at least that far.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who came to Ireland originally, they could only come after the melting of the ice in the Ice Age, and they would have brought their musical traditions with them. So it's as old as we are.
And the pipes that I was asking about?
The oldest I've got on if you like, bellows pipes, is an illustration from the Vespasian or Canterbury Psalter, which is about 700 AD. And it shows sort of what may be simple bellows pipes, but it also shows a pair of wooden horns from Enniskillen, and we have one of those surviving from Enniskillen. Now that's really unusual, because to get an instrument complete and then to get an illustration of it from its own time is very rare, especially from the early medieval period. And in fact, one of those horns is made from a bit of yew wood that I got in a mill in Haskell.
Right. Okay. so it's only about 3 weeks old then. The Lambeg drums, how far back do they go?
Lambeg come from military drums, maybe 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th, 16th centuries.
Yeah.
That particular style of drumming. You know.
But if we're talking, I mean, and your book, is about instruments of Ireland and Britain, and is that really the only sensible way to approach it? Because we can't say there's anything that's specifically an Irish instrument, because there was, if you like, so much cross-pollination going on.
Yes, well, if you look at Ireland and Britain, say 2,000 years ago, it wasn't like it is now. They were sort of nationalistic places, if you like. Ireland was Ireland and Britain was Britain. There was a lot of crossover, and the main highway was the Irish Sea. So there was crossing over all the time, and you can find all the Bronze Age and Iron Age artwork on both sides of the Irish Sea is very similar.
Yeah.
Instruments very similar. But of course we didn't get the Roman influence that disrupted things, particularly for England and Wales. And we didn't get the Anglo-Saxon thing. So they have Anglo-Saxon lyres, and they would have had Roman traditions that we didn't get. So if you like, it's more purified here.
Simon, thanks very much for coming in to talk to us today. That's Simon O'Dwyer, there, author of Ancient Music and Instruments of Ireland and Britain. We're going to take a break after that.